time you come here, my recorder says I don't think so.
Oh,
but it's good now.
leave.
It's good now. No, you stay. You stay. We've got things to talk about,
Yes,
Milt.
we do.
Yeah. So let's start with what everybody talks about at this time of the year. Hey, Milt, when's White Township doing leaf pickup?
Well, that's a good question. We're planning 5 Mondays as usual, and they'll begin October 23rd and run through the Monday just before Thanksgiving, November 20th.
Mm-hmm. And in White Township, you bag up your leaves, correct?
That's correct. You're required to leaves only in biodegradable bags that can be purchased at almost all the local stores. No plastic bags at all, and they must be placed along the curbside and no greater than 50-pound weights.
Yeah. So if they're leaves only, they shouldn't have
That's
50
correct.
pounds worth of weight in a
If you put
bag.
grass clippings in there, then that can be an issue.
Yeah. Okay. So you'll let us know more as that comes along as well.
Yep. We'll have more details on our website and in the paper beginning of October.
Of course, other questions people are asking in White Township right now are, what about the roads? What about the storm sewers? And how have they managed to survive the summer season? And in some cases, not so well. You had to do some repairs.
Yes. Most of the roads are all back in same conditions. The only road is Muller Road. It was damaged. The shoulder had a landslide. So that's in engineering right now to come up with a repair on that. It'll probably require shifting the road slightly. So we've got to purchase some property to make that happen. So I don't think we're going to be able to do that in time for winter weather.
Yeah.
So in the meantime, over the winter, we plan to make that a one-lane road, block off partial area that's damaged with some barricades, and we would only encourage local traffic and deliveries on that road. There's only about 5 or 6 property owners that live back that section of road.
When you have a situation like that where the road just falls away, the embankment falls away from the road and there's nothing underneath it, you have to go further up the road and down the road on either side of it to determine is this going to be an ongoing problem and is more erosion going to take place? How far up do you go?
Well, that's what the engineers will decide. They'll look at the soils and all that and determine that. I really don't know. Just whatever is required safety-wise that won't allow the ground to shift. Probably the cheaper repair is going to be to shift the road over. There is some wet conditions under the road that we've got to correct and improve the drainage by replacing a cross pipe further up the road. So how far up and down, I'm not sure. We'll have to wait for the engineering report.
Now, I know your crews are wrapping up some of the other work that they've been doing on area roads, and folks should look out for them as well, right?
Yes, we finished our paving this summer, so they're coming around now and building back the shoulders, mostly on St. Clair Road. They'll be doing stone base repairs there on the shoulders. And then anywhere in developments and all that, we usually come back in and add some topsoil and grass seed where we've added curbing to the roads.
Okay, all right. So that work will go on. Meantime, White Township, like every other municipality, needs to look at the way the roads are operating and the people driving along them. So you do surveys of sorts to see, if you get a complaint about people speeding or maybe about a traffic light or a stop sign or something like that, you have to investigate those things, and that work goes on too.
Yes, this summer we had quite a few complaints about speeding cars and vehicles. So we purchased a speed monitor similar to what the borough has, and it records and sends it via website link to our office. So we're able to collect all that data, number of cars, how fast they're traveling, and find out truly if there are some issues. And we can talk with the state police about trying to increase the patrols along that road and all that. Yeah. So we're moving that speed monitor to various township roads that we know. Some people are complaining about the speeding. Yeah. And quite frankly, there are a few cars that are showing up that are having some speeding problems, so to speak. So it does take pictures, so we are able to kind of figure out who's doing it. So we're passing that information on to the police.
Yeah, well, one of the things about situations like that is you don't just look at that situation of people are speeding through this particular area. You also look then at why people are speeding through that area. And a lot of times it comes down to it's a shortcut. I figured out a shortcut. I can get from here to there without traveling the road that everybody else is traveling, and I can shorten my drive just by zipping through there.
That's
Not
correct.
understanding, especially when it's a residential area, that speed limits go down, and you have to obey those.
Yeah, a lot of those crosscuts, you're right, are through developments and residential areas, and that's where they get the complaints. People are walking those streets. They're out in the evenings with their children, and they're riding their bikes, and so we're trying to determine the issue and try to correct that problem.
Yeah. All right. So those are the roads. What's underneath the roads? A lot of times it's a sanitary sewer or a storm sewer. And I know you've been working on some of those issues too. Yes.
Those are the ones that nobody sees, that they just kind of forget they're there. But one of the projects is Shelley Drive. We had noticed doing some dredging at the culverts there next to Poets Village that our sanitary sewer pipe is partially blocking some of the opening of those culverts. So we are going to reroute that sewer line out of that culvert, and once that's abandoned, then we can remove the sewer line from the two twin culverts and increase that area under there to maybe help alleviate some of the flooding issues that occur below Ben Franklin School in the Poets Village area.
Yeah,
that's the headwaters of McCarthy Run, so hopefully that'll help some issues downstream also.
One of those, which came first, the culvert or the line things, huh?
Well, I don't know. It's done a long time ago, but it just resurfaced.
Yeah. So you're going to get that one going pretty soon?
Yes. The agreements are being signed. We're hoping our contractor, who is a local company, Ray Winters and Sons, we'll get that going here in the next couple of weeks, and that's a $50,000 project right there.
You know, when you have all of these road issues and the issues under the roads with the sanitary sewers especially, water problems and all of those, there has to be someone overseeing that, and there's the White Township, Municipal Authority? Is that the official title?
The White Township Municipal Authority owns all the sanitary sewer lines in the township. And
I know you're down a member there, aren't you?
We are. We are actively seeking a new board member, so that's open to anybody interested. Applications are available at the office, but you have until tomorrow at 4:30 to get those in, and they'll be presented to the White Township supervisors for review and appointed at the next meeting.
All right, there you go. So everybody wants to know as well from you, Milt. Every time you're on the program, you hear the question, Milt, what about the dog bark?
Well, we are making progress. We finished up Kennedy King. That project through a DCNR grant is all done. We're waiting for final inspection on that. So now some of those work crews are over at the Getty Heights Park working on the new dog park. The paving was done in-house by our road crew for the ADA accessible walkway. So that's all done up to the area. We're hoping next week for our fencing contractor, also a local company, Penn Fencing. They'll be coming in next week to put in the two different dog parks. There's a small dog park and also a large dog park. So they'll be putting the fence up, and we're working on some amenities to be installed there. We're hoping for an opening this fall. It's a matter of, grass seed and all that. Do we feel it's better to open up and get some use out of it, or wait till next spring? That decision will be made in a couple of weeks.
One of the projects that might have been on a back burner but is getting close to being moved up to the front burner is the Hoodlebug Trail extension.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
Well, we committed as for the township to connect the end of the trail that behind Haas's up to the IUP walkway into campus. That leaves the old Robert Shaw building. So that involves, we actually own part of that land when they abandoned South 13th Street, when they straightened that out several years ago. So we own a little section there. So it requires us to do some resloping of that bank there next to the railroad tracks, and also some paving, some fencing, signage, and all that. It's in final engineering right now. We hope to have that approved in another week or two and start construction and have that done by the end of fall.
But that extension will involve people using the trail, and to get from one part to the next, they will have to cross a roadway where there is traffic.
Yes, they'll have to cross Rose Street, which will be right parallel to the railroad tracks there. They'll go up a little embankment there. It'll be a 5% or 6% grade.
Yeah.
There'll be some parking at the top that's on our property.
Oh, okay.
Then they'll have to go across the railroad tracks on a private railroad crossing onto South 13th Street. And there'll be some painting lines and markings there for bike lanes. That'll go about 100 yards up to the walkway.
Well, you mentioning Rose Street, I'm biting my tongue asking you when it's going to connect to Philadelphia Street.
Oh, that got canceled.
I'm biting the tongue here.
Yeah, I know. We're disappointed with that.
Would have been a good thing, wouldn't it?
It would have.
Yeah, it would have been a really, really good thing to have happen.
Would have stopped some of that cross-cut traffic going across the development.
You know, you're right.
It would.
Planning Commission tonight, anything on the agenda of
No, it's
interest?
been real quiet.
Yeah.
No submittals, so there's really no agenda tonight.
Yeah, people just wonder, come on, Milt, when's the new restaurant coming, or two?
Well,
and we just don't know yet.
We don't know.
Waiting for the plans to be submitted.
That's correct.
Yeah, and then supervisors tomorrow night.
Supervisors Wednesday night, correct.
Anything on their agenda that you know of?
Just
jump right
pretty
out?
much what we've talked about, updating the supervisors and their feedback on the issues we talked about.
You did mention Kennedy King Park.
Yes.
It's complete now, right?
It is all done. We're waiting for the DCNR to do the inspection so we can get our payment.
Yeah, all right. That's where the new pickleball courts are.
They are.
And
yes.
other amenities. Beautiful. Thank you, Milt, for coming in to tell us all about what's going on in White Township.
My pleasure, Todd.